Like now, and honestly, and this would be from Al's point of view too. Well, actually, Inferno as a GM, Al may know this. And if he doesn't, just say he doesn't. A Borg, in his experience, is it very likely that a Borg in her state could be more than a match for a suit of power armor?
You don't know.
Don't know. All right. I don't know. I mean, I think the idea would be to renegotiate and show her that she is not in a position of power because she's making demands like she's being courted.
Could we get Pamel to mindfuck with her while we do it?
Ooh.
Possibly.
Ooh. That's interesting.
Can I add one other part? Just do you mind if I just throw my 2 cents in as a GM as well?
Sure.
Maybe, or from the conversation, it seems that Elizabeth thinks she's in a position of power because Greencastle's definitely going to attack Flint. I don't want to keep following that train of thought because then that's just me blatantly giving you a hint.
No, but the idea is to convince her that Greencastle is not going to immediately attack Flint.
And how can that be convinced?
If she thinks that the prince is dead?
Or you actually kill him.
Yeah.
Or we actually kill him.
Or here's another thought,
too. I was thinking of a lot of things in similar ways where it's like, her disappearance and things will be nothing in comparison to the prince's death. They won't care about her.
Yeah. So, here's the question. Inferno, and this is going to just be a GM call. How many sedatives do I have on the behemoth? How long could we keep her out?
Since we didn't say a specific amount, I'm going to have to roll. I'm going to roll 5d6, and that's how many hours.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, it helps if I put in the backslash. 19 hours. Like 19 hours from now, not you've used, you know what I mean? Like everything, like what you've used, right? You have this much. Because it might have been a little bit more, but she's also a Borg, and she needs more.
And is it safe to assume that this is my collection and what they can spare?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's your collection, not what they can spare. That's how you asked how much is on the behemoth.
Right.
You can add 5 minutes to make her sleep, right? Is that what Pamel does? Like, can she
yeah, the trance. Well, Pamel could stick with her, I guess. But
if
inducing sleep.
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, if Pamel were to stay by her side and keep her controlled that way, that would work. And then we could even use the, for example...
Hold up a second. No, Pamel isn't an insta-battery. It uses ISP, and it uses it faster than she regains it. So that's not a perpetual thing.
What if we did a double system? In other words, use sedatives when Pamel needs to rest.
It would double it, so 40 hours. Double it and rounding it up.
That's still very little time to infiltrate. We'd have to just do almost an assault or something. Like, I mean, 40 hours is doable, but our plan, like Burn, the one you were thinking of, not doable in 40 hours. It's just...
Not...
I can't imagine we would be able to do that in 40 hours.
Okay. By burning what's-her-face, essentially? Like, blacklisting her and then just going in as extra protection? That's not going to work?
Well, here's the thing. We would have to send out the message that someone's trying to kill him. He would have to come to the conclusion that he needs more mercenaries. Now, that might take some time, but not too much. Then we would have to get our name out there enough that we seem like a legitimate... All we have is one mercenary group that heard of us somehow when they came to see our disturbance. We would have to be credible enough for them to hire us on. Then we have to make enough of an impression to let a newly hired mercenary group anywhere near Prince Jasper. The chances of doing that in less than 2 days are extraordinary. A week,
Why do we
maybe.
need to do that in less than 2 days?
40 hours.
We can only sedate. No, Vern had to go AFK.
Right.
Yeah, I
We had to
Sick.
sedate.
Elizabeth, that's
Yeah.
using
Is the
both Pamel
original?
and the sedatives that you have.
Yeah.
She will
The-
only be rendered unconscious for about 40 hours.
The original idea behind that was to have either Pamel or have us just broadcast that information, and just kill her
Yeah,
so that she's done.
Yeah, that's where we're trying to avoid that.
Okay. So yeah, that's why we're in this situation. Gotcha.
Yeah. The
I
idea
don't know
is
what
that
to do then.
she's negotiating from a seat of power because she thinks that and Inferno, I might have missed that. She thinks that Greencastle will attack Flint just because they're going to, or because they have her.
She can see the writing on the wall.
Got it. Okay.
She has done enough. I mean, her ears to the ground long enough. She knows it's going to happen.
Mhm.
She is just really what she's done is she's confirmed Flint's fears, 100%.
So the thing is that Tom may be all willing to kill her, but while Al would probably be able to get over it, he's in a very sensitive spot at the moment because he's very, very recently decided that he wants to be more of a healer and less of an assassin.
As
and
a
he
DM,
did just
I'd
save her
say-
life, so...
That's true. As a DM, you can each make your points, right? But I think by the end of the day, once a decision is made, there's a vote, and then the players have to rationalize the character's behavior. Or maybe it creates conflict in the group or whatever, right? But any major decision has to be a decision by the group, right? Not by one individual.
Do we want to do we want to just vote right now whether the killer try a different way, or do we want to discuss all the options before we vote? I mean, where is everyone?
You can try.
Yeah.
I've considered a lot of things. I think the thing to cement my opinion about this is what the village elders would want from her other than information about the war.
What?
They want her to stay there and help them.
Well, they don't necessarily want that. It's become a negotiation option, right? Elizabeth is interested. She wants to do her job and to sell, to be a cyberdoc, sell and install cyberware, and make crap tons of money. She was doing that extremely well in Greencastle. And she wants to continue to do so. So they're trying to, instead of being like, they're trying to sway her to be like, well, maybe you can set up shop here instead, rebuild, something like that, right?
Yeah.
So, but honestly, as far as her worth to the elder traders and the people of Flint, her information, what she knows, they're trying to appease her, make her happy, so they don't have to torture it out of her because they're not that kind of people, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, out of character, with a fairly clear mind about this, she has very little redeemable factors. We've killed similar things before, and it is one of those things where I probably would have double thought how this would work out if she didn't literally walk up to our behemoth and threatened our life after we left so peacefully.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the main reason why Tom is stuck on this whole let's kill her.
Yeah, personally, Kriana as a player is this woman really doesn't have any redeemable qualities to her. I don't trust her one bit.
Nope.
And,
Honestly, Squee as a player is like that too. So
yeah, I mean, it's
So-
unfortunate that we can't we've been talking. How long have we been discussing this?
A
I mean,
while.
we've
Yeah.
tried. We've tried A for effort, but I think it might be just time to say that
Old Yeller her.
we gotta make a decision and commit.
Pull the trigger on it.
All right.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Patrick will actually step up.
Patrick.
Oh my god.
This
All right,
is your
what's up,
moment.
Patrick?
And say, I've come across a lot of people in my life, and I do want, beyond most things, to have people have second, third, all the chances they have. This woman seems to thrive on violent acts, payment, just things that seem to just be for her own gain and through other people's suffering and death. I have no hard feelings about her slipping away peacefully. We've been through and killed many of monsters, and she is a monster in human skin.
They nod and they say, there are a lot of monsters in human skin. And I understand it's not an easy decision. They themselves have been debating over it quite a bit, but they agree that, this started in combat, in self-defense, and we're just taking it to its natural conclusion now.
Mhm.
So they'll take care of it.
Actually,
Mhm.
I will say no. I'll take care of it. The whole point of all this is to keep all of you from becoming murderers. I've been a murderer for a long time.
Fatima says, fair enough, but we also have hired you to kill someone, so as far as morality goes, I don't know how squeaky clean we are, but we do what's necessary to protect our people. So, with that, all right. I'm assuming you'd like to roleplay this out, yeah?
Yeah, this is gonna sound a little weird. Is there a way to... she has the ability to make someone paralyzed for a certain amount of time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to do this, because if we are going to kill her, then I think at the very least, and unless everyone disagrees, she deserves, not a last right, but a last request kind of thing. So my thought was this. Make sure she can't move. Let her know, pretty much, as brutal as this sounds, but let her know, look, you're going to slip into a sleep, and you're not waking up, and that's the way it is. If you have a final request that does not involve revenge or murder or anything you know is not going to happen, tell us now. I know that sounds kind of brutal, but I'd want someone to do that for me.
Fair enough. Would you like Tom to be there as well?
Anyone who wants to be there can. I'm not stopping anyone from going. I just
Patrick's not going to be there.
Yeah,
I'll
I just think
pass,
that
thanks.
Yeah.
there's
Who
a
wants
big
to
difference between being the one that pulls the switch and not, basically.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Would Pamel have a problem with that, or?
No, Pamela doesn't have a problem with that. Although she can't guarantee her efficacy.
Got it.
AKA, in-game reasons, Elizabeth still has to roll a saving throw, right? And she
Right.
does that enough time, she's going to burn through Pamel's remaining ISP, right?
Right.
So, all right. So they take you off to the their clinic over in Flint. A few doctors, get out of the way, and actually Fatima is with you as well to lead you there and to bear witness, for lack of a better word. She is just lying there in a makeshift bed with an IV drip. Pamel is at your side as well. Let's see how she rolls against the evil eye. That's what the power is called, at least. Nope, she fails. So, yes, Pamela is able to paralyze her while the sedative is cut off, allowing her to induce an awakened state as Elizabeth's... Now, actually, give me just Can you give me guys just? I want to just take a 2-minute break because I have to think about what my
yeah,
character.
Yeah, no,
would
absolutely.
say
I'll
or
go
do
grab a
in this
drink or something.
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, grab a drink or something. I'm gonna go to the washroom and
Some
take a
heavy
moment
stuff.
to think.
So yeah.
All right, give me a moment.
Guys, I'm gonna go grab a drink. I'll be right back.
Yeah. So, yeah. Stuff.
I've got sunshine on a cloudy day.
Remember when we wanted to like make this a lot more cheerful?
Well, the thing about like riffs is it bounces back and forth, which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
I prefer happy stuff because I'm a happy person.
I think it
Or a
would.
violent person. Happily violent. Please continue.
Yay!
That's what dungeons are for.
Yeah.
Sort of. I mean, dungeons can take on many forms, but I forgot what I was gonna say. Fuck. What was the subject just before I made a quip thing?
Sad pants time?
Sad pants time?
Things are sad. We wanted things to be not sad. Not too long ago. If I recall correctly.
Oh,
I
yeah, that's
could
right.
be
I was gonna
wrong.
say. I was gonna say that I see this kind of like as the sort of like a pseudo futuristic Wild West sort of business,
Yeah.
Yeah.
where like it's sort of like justice is was it like done by the gun or something like that?
Okie
It's-
dokie. Oh,
Frontier
sorry.
justice.
Frontier justice.
Okay, I'm back. I have figured it out. I know what
Yeah.
I'm doing.
And you can have a lot of
sweet.
fun. But it's frontier justice is usually not the
my
most
God.
civil thing.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. I mean, fucking Cyber Knights have had to just execute people on the spot because there ain't no prison out in the wilderness. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All right, ready?
I'm not
Everyone
sure
back?
if
No?
we.
I just got back, so I am ready.
Okay,
Welcome
all right.
back.
So she is induced and she's awoken, and she looks at you with bleary, drugs-reddened eyes.
Out of character. Is this like a lethal injection thing? Am I sticking her with something so that she's going to drift off in a few minutes and never wake up?
No,
or-
you're going to give her an overdose of sedative.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably concoct something, though, if you want. Just give her a needle, but yeah.
No, I'm going to give her the overdose before I start speaking to her, so...
Oh, my God. Well, no, hold up a second.
Okay.
You might not get... If you're going to give her the overdose of sedative, she might just say 5 words and then go to sleep.
Yeah.
You know
So
what I
might
mean?
Okay.
want to hold off for a bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's paralyzed. She can't do anything. Pamela has assured you. So there's no reason why you can't
All right.
have her talk, make her last request, and then give her the sedative.
I am going to... Well, there's a reason for this. I'm going to then go through the motions of doing it where she can see me because I don't want her to think there is any going back.
Mm-hmm.
I want her to think basically it's beyond the point of no return. It's going to happen. There's nothing anyone can do about it.
Okay. All right. So, okay, well, I want you to roll me a D100, please.
All right.
Okay. And now I'm going to roll. Okie doke. So yeah, she opens her eyes. You start going through the motions of upping her dose, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what do you say? She's just looking. She's pretty stunned at this moment because everything she's been through.
Al will finish, and then he's going to sit down next to her, and he's going to say, I'm going to be very blunt. We tried negotiating with you. You obviously seem to think that you have an upper hand and are not willing to really play ball. Beyond that, I am convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that you will use any opportunity you can to harm those I care about. You're going to die. I'm giving you an overdose of sedative. It will be painless. You'll go to sleep. And you will not wake up.
And so through her groggy voice, she says, "So why are we still talking?"
Because I believe that it is important to give you a chance for a last request. You are going to die, and you are not going to get revenge for this. But if there is something unfinished that doesn't involve the massacre or harming of another individual that you would wish finished, now's your time to say.
My last request is don't kill me.
That is not an option.
She says, yes, it is. I might be groggy, but I am a doctor just as you. You didn't give me an overdose of sedative.
Because the second do, you will fall asleep.
Exactly, which means you want to talk. You didn't want to talk. If you wanted to kill me, you could have done so when I was unconscious. You have compassion in you, so don't kill me. If you're concerned I'm a threat, do you kill a house cat if it has claws, or do you just remove the claws?
Al looks at her very, very blankly, with no emotion on his face, and says, I told you I'm being very blunt. I have enough compassion to offer you a last request, but I will kill you. This is happening. You do not have a choice in the matter. And if you don't have a last request, I will overdose you now and we'll be done with this.
Wait, she says, and she moves her head to the side as if she was in thought. It takes a very, very long while. As her head just, still paralyzed, however, she moves back to look at you. She says, I don't have one request, I have two. First, when I die, I would like you to burn my body so it becomes ash. Go to a cliff or somewhere high, high up, as high as you can go, and spread my ashes to the wind. That is incidental, however. If you are serious in only granting one request, I ask you this. Find a woman named Natalie Ling. I loved her once and I broke her heart. I've regretted that every day of my life. Find her and apologize to her for me. Tell her that I didn't mean to hurt her. I was just being foolish.
Al will get up and actually administer the overdose this time, and as he does so, he'll say, for what it's worth, those two requests will be done.
Okay. And she slips off and dies.
And after that, Al doesn't say a word. He just, unless someone stops him, he's just going to go back to his room on the behemoth and close the door.
Okay.
Well, Tom was there. So
yeah, I know.
You will go with Al.
Yeah.
And try and comfort him.
He's not going to, like, he'll acknowledge, but you're not going to be getting through at the moment. He's just going to be very, very quiet and...
I know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's still going to try, but yeah. Okay. Moving on.
Sorry, shit got serious for a moment, but I gotta roleplay what you gave me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, don't worry. Next episode we'll have like dancing. I don't know. Lee.
Zeus.
Elizabeth.
No, she's dead.
She's dead.
Oh.
All right.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
I'll just make my way out of here now.
All right.
Damn straight. No, just kidding.
All right. So, what would you guys like to do next? If there's anyone you want to talk with in the town, no problem. We can continue on to the next morning. This is an interesting happenstance, though. James T, if it's okay by you guys, yeah. Actually, no, I gotta do this in character because James T is fun to be. So at some point in the next little while, all right, he'll mention to the group and be like, "You are probably gonna go into danger, and I'm not really the most capable. Clearly, you'll be coming back this way relatively soon to help these people. Perhaps I should stay here for a while." Maybe get away from Greencastle and whatever things you're doing. I can come and rejoin you after you're done.
Al will hide pleasure and say, "Will you be okay here?"
Oh, yes. I'm sure the compassion of these people will make sure I am not without shelter. Especially now that they know that I travel with you.
All right then.
Thoughts? Yeah. Anyone else? Thoughts?
No, I'm just containing my joy.
Yeah.
I don't
yeah.
have an opinion on the matter.
I guess Patrick's only thought or note would be absolutely, if this is something that you want.
Yeah. So yeah, and Al would say something to the regards. If you feel that's best, then stay out of
After
trouble.
the experience with that bitch, Cyberduck, I think it's always a good idea to go somewhere a little bit quieter.
Oh, that's something that we completely forgot about. Are we actually going to honor her final request for the whole fire
That
thing?
is
Or
up to Squee's character or yours, because I think you were there for it.
I was there.
Well, as a group, of course, we can all decide. But Al would be very dead serious about honoring both of them.
Okay. So we will need to tell the elder that was with us that we will be taking her body, if that is
Sure.
fine.
They understand the last request. They're fine with it. Although they do admit that... Fatima knew about the last request too. She was there, right?
Yeah.
So they say that it's best to transport her as ash than a body, because you do not want any misunderstandings by anyone else.
Yeah. Do you have a fire pit or something?
Yes,
Anywhere?
we can say for the sake of the role play, they'd be able to clear out some sort of area for you in order to cremate her body without the need to set the entire town ablaze.
Yeah.
So, yes, that can certainly be arranged and done
But
and
do we
completed.
have fire?
And this would very likely be the first time that they witness me using my powers.
That's true.
Okie dokie.
Mm-hmm.
All right. There are a few onlookers, very, very curious, but most of them are just members of the Elder Council. A few of the onlookers look shocked. There's some whispers of like, "Oh, he's one of those people. I didn't know." I don't think he's here to hurt us, is he? No. He's with everyone else. He's gonna help us. I don't know. Anyways, but it's just whispers like that, right?
Mhm.
But for the most part, if any of the elder traders are disturbed, they do not show it.
Okay.
So yeah, you are able to collect their ash, of course, and it is now with you. Added to your group loot.
Ew, can we?
Okay, bottle O Elizabeth.
Aww.
Just add life.
Drink it, or eat it. Use it as seasoning.
Oh God, bottle O Elizabeth. Just add life.
Oh God.
All right.
I actually wrote that.
Oh gosh. And I would ask the elder councils, in between here and Greencastle, are there any such cliffs that would meet the need?
They shake their heads and they say, this terrain is rolling foothills based off the Appalachian Mountains, but for a high cliff face, as such as requested, you'll either have to venture further up the mountains or head towards the coast where the cliff meets the reef.
Makes sense. All right. Well, we still have work to do.
Yep. And we've gained another NPC.
Oh God! No, we haven't.
They're not NPCs if they're dead. They're DC. They're DPCs.
It's a bottle of ash is not an NPC. It's adventure gear. Get it right.
We gotta do something to lighten the mood, right?
All right. So is there anything else we need to do in Flint? I can't think of anything.
Nope. If we're setting up camp here, he's done with fixing armor. I think he's just gonna go back to the hammer. Role playing.
It's a new day now. Why don't you roll it again now, Biffy?
Brand new
Get some design
day.
going.
Weapon go. Fuck. God damn it.
I'm sorry. You have to try again tomorrow.
Okay.
There is something that I want to bring up. Now that James T is no longer with us, we could possibly go back to Finton and possibly either get materials or repairs on certain things.
Very true. And in fact, beyond that, seek out Lord Tyrant over there and see what his view towards the Jasper guy is. If he
Are you
hates
sure
him
we
enough,
want to seek him out?
there's no reason not to. He doesn't have a problem with us. He has a problem with James T. We just tell him something about James T. ran away. He's not with us. He's dead
right.
even.
As a player vote, I really want to get forward with this whole assassination thing. That is something I would like to get to, but
Okay.
I'm definitely flexible.
Yeah,
I
but
would like
how-
to as well. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do it.
Yeah, how do we approach it? But I am cautioning, we have one set of body armor that is undamaged out of the 4. That is the only thing that I'm cautioning you guys on.
So we could do this. We could just make a trip there, get everything repaired, and then continue on. My only thought for dealing with that guy is that if he hates him enough, we might have an ally, maybe another inn. We could push forward with Burns' original plan now that we don't have a 40-hour time limit.
Yeah.
In addition, if you guys have any questions about the game world or anything else you want me to repeat anything, feel free to use me as a resource.
Yeah.
Well, you know, going to Finton, it'll be 2 days one way, 2 days back.
Yeah, we don't have much time left.
You
Yeah.
have 11 days now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would probably like to do this as quickly. I do think that we need a plan, but I also like to make sure that whenever we're doing things, we're generally moving forward with getting him when he's not in town.
Let's not go to Finton. It's a silly place, anyways.
No,
Let's see.
we can get everything
Fuck
repaired.
you.
There's no reason
I'm
why we can't get
sorry.
everything that we need repaired at Greencastle, which is much closer. Because
Yeah, that
because
is
Inferno,
true.
you said there's a mechanic there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we can get our stuff done repaired at
There are
Greencastle.
actually 3 mechanics there.
figure out
Yeah.
exactly how we want to do this, if we want to go through that. But yeah, I mean, obviously, yes, before we do anything, we need to have more than one working set of body armor.
Yeah.
But I'm with Piff. We should quickly decide how we want to do this. I think so far your plan has a good chance, given that this
going
guy
the
is surrounded.
infiltration routes
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
might be
so
an idea.
you know what? I'm going to be Debbie Downer because I don't want you to waste all this time, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
So the plan is, okay, so tell me just refresh me on the plan, okay?
If I recall correctly, we were to go back to Green Castle. We were going to sign up as mercenaries and try and get hired on.
Right.
And then eventually afterwards have a communique using the rod, now that Elizabeth is dead, in Elizabeth's voice, either to the prince or, to something else that would eventually get to the prince.
Okay. Because when you said to the prince, I'm like, how the hell do you know his radio?
Yeah, exactly. That to the prince one was if Pamela was actually controlling her, and potentially would know, hey, this is the way to contact the prince. Boom. But trying feeding that information to something else through maybe to that recruiter dude. You don't know. But anyways, getting that information somehow to the prince. And then eventually, hey, like let's come up with a big, huge lie. The only one that I can think of off the top of my head was there was a shipment of coalition items. The coalition found out a bit about this shipment, and this shipment was apparently stolen. And they want it back. They are actually gearing up and going to go after the prince himself, because he is reportedly the one that hired these people to steal this shipment of items. I mean, if the coalition's coming after you, you either want to get back to Green Castle, or you want to get as many people there as possible to protect you. And then you're looking towards an outside force. You're looking for the coalition, not, the people that are protecting you.
However, you did just point out what I just realized too. The biggest weakness in the plan is that this guy's on a hunting trip. If he really thinks someone's out there to kill him, how likely is he going to be to stay out on that hunting trip instead of just going back to his seat of power?
That's a good
what I was
point.
going to bring up.
Yeah, this is one of those things where you can't say that there's any threat towards him, or else he's going to bunker up. It's going to be harder to kill him.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
not
the main
do
reason
that.
why the individuals from Green Castle be like, listen, he's on his hunting trip. You're our chance because he's outside. Like, this is the closest he's going to get to being exposed, right?
Yeah.
So,
But then how?
so yeah, I'm going to shut up now because I.
How can we
shouldn't.
infiltrate? That's
Infiltrate what?
then we can't
the camp?
I
infiltrate
don't
his
think we
camp.
can. No, I
And
don't think we
we're
can.
going to be going up against a huge force.
Well, if I know hunting parties, they usually go around on something, mounts, cars, maybe even on foot, and kind of just
who has the
spend.
hunting skill?
Me?
Okay. Sorry. Keep going, Piff. Keep going.
So I'm assuming that it's probably going to be something like a spread out, not like super spread out, but like people are kind of doing their own thing and they're going around and hunting beasts. One thing that we need to make sure that we need to watch out for is everyone's sort of, as far as I can tell, is going to be trigger happy. So if we come at them aggressively or even kindly, we're probably going to get shot.
Exactly.
So I'm assuming that is probably going to be generally organized to shoot particular beasts and people who are walking through, and not particularly something that is crowded around him going like, there's going to be an attack on us.
True. Plus, those with a hunting skill, which is Mila and
Me.
Tom, would know that, because you've actually hunted before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like in real life, people don't go hunting on their motorcycles and their cars because that's going to scare away everything.
Yeah.
They do it on foot. They try to be quiet. They try to keep a low profile. So if you're concerned about them taking military vehicles through the woods, crashing through, hoping to kill deer that way, that's not going to happen.
I know. My main concern was like if we were to try and go straight at the camp, which is heavily armored, but otherwise, we could try and
burn.
let me finish. Let me finish. We could try and isolate him and specifically try and find him, but how? How do we know this is who it is and not just some other random dude?
True.
Al might have something to say to that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Piff.
I'm trying to exactly figure. Like, I keep hearing a camp. Were we ever told of a camp?
Yes. It's like a mini city.
Hmm.
Yes. With robots and juicers and Borgs. Oh my.
Anyways, but to answer your question of like, hey, how are we, all this other stuff, Al, I would know about this during. Oh, wait. First of all, can I interject? Is that cool? Do you guys mind?
Yeah, that's fine.
I mind not at all. Yeah.
Okay, so you're concerned about like we're going into this blind, right? Like we have no idea what's there. We're gonna stumble across like 20 guys. They're gonna blow us to fucking bits, right? Well, Al has done this in the past, and he has done that like both in sessions. Actually, you've all kind of done this in sessions and out of sessions, which is you do some recon.
Yeah.
Go.
You figure out exactly what you're up against.
I'm gonna say Jackie, but this is a hunting party, so maybe not.
Yeah.
The risky part about that is that
Getting caught, yeah.
Well, not just that. Al's used to doing recon in urban environments. He's not a woodsman.
Okay, fair enough. Despite his elfishness.
Yes. Well, don't get me wrong. He would love to, but he's not dumb enough to think that all of a sudden he's good at it.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I don't mean to keep because I'm not one way or the other, right? But you guys sound like super stumped, and I want to really help you out because I want to. Anyways, but I'm gonna shut up because you guys have worked through bigger problems than this, right? So.
All right. So, we're thinking of an offensive strike against him. We do not need to take out all of the people, for one.
Yeah, we just need him.
Right. So I'm assuming that they're not going to have a mobile camp shooting down animal stuff. He's probably going to go out hunting at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't really have to worry about the camp, unless we want to actually try to get him during some sort of downtime sleep thing.
Yeah.
So, recon would be best. I can pull together a few skills that I'm quite sure all of us have, but it would be very hard to communicate to other people.
Oh. I just had a thought. We could use your gadget, Piff. The sine wave thing. Because they will very likely be using radio signals. And we could probably try and track them down through their walkie-talkies. Because you don't have to broadcast in your armor. You can just talk.
Although, I thought Piff's tool was to scan for frequencies, not to pinpoint them.
Yeah, it wouldn't be to pinpoint. That would just be, hey, there's one nearby, and then we can use something else to maybe pinpoint. I don't know.
It would theoretically it'd be really hard to do that in such a short time, especially if the target's moving.
If we could get into their radio signal, we might get lucky and they might talk about the prince's position. But
yeah,
the tricky thing is,
it's a hunting party. They might actually tell like where animal positions are.
Yeah, the tricky thing would be the recon part of it, because we need to avoid the camp and find him not in the camp, which means we have two options. Try looking for him by avoiding the camp altogether, which is not very likely, or finding the camp first and waiting for him to leave it. But the problem with that is, while that gives us a much higher success rate, it also gives us much greater chances of getting spotted.
Yeah. Well, we do know the location of the camp, if I recall correctly. Right, Inferno?
Yes, you do have a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't know
an
exactly where it is, but you have a good idea by the descriptions of what people were talking about in the town, the information you got.
Hmm.
Yeah. Pip?
That's why I thought that we were going to go straight at the camp, because that's the only piece of information that we have is the possible location of the camp. We could just hide out somewhere nearby and try and get lucky, I guess. Monitor radio signals.
Well, hang on, Piff. What you said you had an idea.
Yes.
It's more of a situational thing, and it's yeah, it's definitely more of a situational thing. So I definitely have to know what's going on around there.
So,
Like I hear camp, and that can mean multiple things, but it's usually a place where they go to eat, sleep, whatever. Like that's the place they go back to.
right.
Yeah.
Here would be my suggestion. How far away is this hunting ground from where we are?
It is in a place called the Quiet Rain Forest. That stretches for quite a ways, but it is somewhere in between. It's 3/4 between Flint and Greencastle.
Okay. So.
So to travel there
Mhm.
would not take very long. It would take 4 hours tops to get to that wood, and then navigating inside of it. Right.
Here would be my personal suggestion, and we might change this as well. Obviously, we're not taking the behemoth. We take an ATV, maybe a vehicle or two, maybe some of the power armor, and enough food to last several days. Maybe ask people at Flint if we can borrow a tent. We set up in a very discreet location that is close enough to scan their radio waves, but far enough away that them running into us is rather unlikely. And we camp out until, for a few days, until we get radio intel on where this guy is going to be. Because that's the best recon we've got. My prowl check is not good enough to try and sneak through a camp or around a camp, or even close enough to a camp to get visual on the guy.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
You do have Jackie too, of course. You did mention that.
Do have Jackie.
Yeah.
That is very true. And they're not going to be hunting Jackie at the camp, I would think.
And she has telescopic eyes.
Yeah. Make
That
sure
is true,
that
she
she's
doesn't
far
have
She
enough.
to
can
get-
run super fucking fast. I can't remember what her speed value is, but it's fucking bananas. She can run like 50 miles an hour. It's
I would
insane.
love to do that. The only thing I'm concerned about is it's a robot squirrel with other people who have maybe robotic sight and
Yeah.
like
It might
twitch
seem like-
reflexes that might even be like similar to robots, and I'm not quite sure exactly how non-trigger happy they're going to be. So if they see like a little squirrel moving, probably not something they would probably want to put on their wall, but they might still shoot at it for no reason.
Yeah, they could be just assholes about that.
So that's why I'm like going, we do have Jackie, but
True. Yep. It's a very good.
However, it's not as risky as you might think, because no one's going to be shooting at a squirrel with mega damage weapons if they actually try to hunt it. They would be shooting at her with standard weapons, and that would give her plenty of time to run away.
True.
And
Alright.
and the chances, like, while
yeah,
that
if
is
it
a
is
chance...
a squirrel,
But-
well, no, they could still be assholes because I mean,
Hey, look,
the
the
thing
squirrel.
but the thing is, no one uses a rocket launcher to hunt a squirrel, and would that?
oh no,
basically
it's not
be-
going to be a rocket launcher.
But
still
you know what I'm saying?
like,
That's the same thing as using a mega damage weapon.
Yep. Those with the hunting skill. Those with the hunting skill would also know, as Squeeze said, you don't hunt with a rocket launcher, but you also don't hunt with a giant laser, because say you shoot an ion bolt at her, right, and you atomize a squirrel. Well, that goes through the squirrel into the tree, maybe knocking it over and having it fall on you. You know what I mean? Like that, or you cut like a swath through the forest, scaring everything within a mile radius because of the damage. You know what I mean? It's just impractical in a sense.
Okay, so if they do see a squirrel, they might not shoot at it with big laser thing. Good.
And my thought was, even if they shot at it, and even maybe let's say they hit it with the gun, there's still a high chance, if Jackie's fast enough, that they would just say, because like it's really hard
you
to
missed,
confirm.
yeah.
To confirm if you hit something or not. And they might
All right.
say, "Oh, I just wounded it" or whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, I think that can work, especially if they really do think it's a squirrel
Okay,
and they're not an asshole.
Well, ifs, but yep.
So,
Okie
how about
dokie.
both of those ideas? How about we grab a tent, grab enough food to hang out for a few days, try and find a secluded area, and if someone comes across us, here's a good question. We should ask this before we go. Is this area like off limits? Like, would we be in trouble just for camping there?
I don't think so. It's not like the Royal Forest or anything like
Okay.
that. I don't think even Greencastle can put a claim on it. No. You wouldn't be seen as trespassers.
Okay, then yeah, let's do that. Let's get a tent. Let's get some gear, and it's enough gear that if we find this guy as a hunting party, we can take him out. But it's also a little enough gear that we've got a power armor, we've got this and that. Yeah, we're in the world of rifts. Of course, we've got defenses,
Yeah.
And we play it off as we're just camping. Oh, you're here too. Oh, well, that's great. Maybe we should hunt together. Something like that. If they find us. And then we just camp out for a few days, learn what we can from Jackie and the radio, and plan our next move from there.
All right, I do agree with the camping thing, and generally I do agree with Jackie. They would probably be pretty evident if they were using laser weapons, because as Inferno pointed out, it goes through things. It makes giant lines in forests, and would probably have singe marks and things. So if that's around, we would actually know to maybe not bring Jackie.
Jackie, stay here. You just see like trees
Jackie.
falling all around the camp. Jackie, no.
So yeah, so if they have been doing that, it would be evident enough that we can be like, all right, Jackie, either don't go out, or like if you do see this, come back, or something like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, actually, do we have the capability to program Jackie? Like, can she do something this complex, like monitor the camp, and when a hunting party goes out, come back and tell us which way they went? Is that something she can do, or is that too complicated?
It is only complicated in the sense that she won't know what the hell a hunting party is, but you could program her to be like, if it'd be like programmer code. If one or greater individuals go outside a 50-mile visual radius, mark direction, return back to owner. You know what I mean?
Or even better, have her spend a day scouting the camp to try and like recording video of who the prince of everyone. We go through the video, say, this is the prince. Jackie, if you see this person, leave.
Zoom to you and notify you. Yep, you can definitely program that. Yes. Yeah. She has sophisticated robotics.
Okay.
Yeah. How do
Pay
we
good
know
money
what
for
Prince
it.
looks like?
No,
though?
that's why I said spend a day viewing the camp, and then we have to manually go over the videotape. The prince should be
but-
obvious. No, by reviewing the videotape, theoretically, it should be obvious to tell who's in charge.
Okay.
Who's got an entourage around him? Who's giving all the orders? Who's acting like a pompous dick? We find that guy. And
Well,
then we
all
tell
of them are going to be dicks.
But yes,
Just a,
Yes.
just a camp full of dicks.
but
Oh, God.
but they will not all be pompous dicks, because only the
No, some of them
pompous
will be
dick gets
circumcised.
to be. Well, no, I was gonna say only the pompous dick gets to be the pompous one. That's why he's pompous.
Right. I guess before we leave, we might want to have a small description.
That's true.
Yes, they know what he looks like.
And if they
Yeah,
if
that
they
is
by
true.
chance know what he hunts in, what his power armor might look like, or his body armor, or anything like that.
Sure. Okay, so I'm not going to roleplay the entire scene. Just give you the knowledge as is requested. In addition, any requests for tent or simple camping supplies, they can provide as much as you need. In fact, if they didn't have enough tents, some of the refugees would be offering their own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Could
Mhm.
question? I
Yeah.
don't know. This might be easier if Jackie can do it. Can she like record specific situations? Like anytime they say Prince Jasper, like that command, she starts recording.
So an audio cue for that specific word?
Yeah, so we don't
Yes,
have
I
to go
would
over
say that
hours
would-
of footage.
Genius.
Yes.
Thank you. I know I've been kind of quiet, but I have made my voice heard.
Thank you, Kriana. I was worried
You're
that
amazing.
you may have died.
I am just muting myself so you guys don't hear how emotional I get when I play riffs.
Nice.
You have no idea
Nice.
how much talk of camping really gets to me.
Wink.
Okay. So, you can program that with Jackie. As for what the Prince Jasper looks like, he is a young man in his early 20s. He seems to have, he is Caucasian, but with hooded eyes. He has tan skin, very, very tanned in a sense. He has raven black hair that goes to his neck. He is 5'11". He is known to, when he is out in dangerous areas, for lack of a better word, he does have his own custom-built royal body armor. It is in the colors of both of the royal. They are the royal colors of the Crichtons, which is an off-white cream and a deep crimson red. However, clearly he does not go hunting in such conspicuous attire, and he has been spotted in years past wearing his own camouflaged hunting gear that itself has been mega damage reinforced with high impact materials, aka mega damage. They know he does fashion the bow and arrow, but he is equally skilled with a hunting rifle or a laser rifle.
Ooh. Al also favors the bow and arrow with no skill in it whatsoever.
Well, he might have you beat then.
Yes.
So you do have a physical
Wait.
description.
Wait, I know how we kill him. We go to the camp, we challenge him to an archery contest. I'm just kidding.
And then Tom burns him alive.
Step 2.
yeah. And then Tom burns him alive because he's a burster. I like this plan. No.
Does anyone I don't mean to digress, but I'm just getting flashbacks to Men in Tights. There we go. Okay. It's been said.
He shot his arrow in twain.
Okay. Here's what we do. We drug him, and then we take pictures with him naked with Tom.
Okay, all right. I'm putting
Yes,
you back
yes.
on track,
Yes.
guys. We got
Yes,
this
let's
plan.
go.
We gotta do this plan. he
Yes.
Mhm.
All right.
please.
All right. So, if for the sake of the pacing of the session, would you mind if I took the driver's seat for just a little while?
Absolutely.
Since I knew your
I don't mind.
intentions.
Yeah.
Go.
Right. So, you now okay, wait. I have to make it clear. You're not taking the behemoth. So, what are you taking to travel there?
My vehicle.
Mhm.
Is there anybody else?
Well,
I want to know if any power armor is taken, body armor that's taken,
Yes.
vehicles that's taken.
I'm debating which
NPCs
power.
you want there or would rather not be there. Alicia and Bear are definitely offering their services.
I would like both of them to be there. Can Alicia drive an ATV?
Yeah, she can.
Okay, so I am thinking, because it's camping, it's a camping trip. I'm thinking of bringing both ATVs, both Patrick's and the newly acquired one.
Would we
Loading
really
them
want
up.
to do that? It's kind of a hot car.
What do you mean?
But
As in, okay, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, but on the other hand, I mean, does it look like it has any really big distinguishing features that this is her car and no one else could have one like this?
Other than the missile launcher on the top, there's nothing really amazing about it.
We could take off the missile launcher. I mean, yeah, there was a mini missile launcher.
I'm saying, why would we do that?
So it doesn't look like a car description of a car that has been taken.
That she was last seen in?
Yeah.
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 Okay, it hurts me to do it, but yeah.
Yeah, we just need to take it off. We don't have to like dismantle
That's
it.
something that Patrick can do without problem.
Yeah,
I have a
Um,
skill for it.
Yeah, you do, babe.
and if we really need to, we have enough paint. We have a paint sprayer, and I have art. We can spray paint it a different color.
I think that is needed, maybe.
No, actually,
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
all for it. The better. Like, I mean, if it takes them like a few
I
hours.
can add this into your preparations.
Yeah,
That's fine.
yeah.
I can narrate it. That's no problem. All right.
Okay.
I just want to know what you're taking. So both ATVs.
Both ATVs.
One question for me: does the forest look dense enough that it would be difficult to maneuver around in the Samson?
You don't know. You haven't been in the forest yet. But by descriptions of it, it is known. It is very thick. It's known as the quiet rain forest because the canopy is so thick, rain barely gets through it.
All right. And one more question. I'm sure this may have been asked before. The Titan power armor. The wings can fold up. Not really small, but smaller than when they're extended, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then I'll be taking the flying Titan armor.
Okay.
Okay. Kriana, are you going to bring your jumpy armor? The Power Ranger one?
Yeah. Is that a good idea?
Well, here's the thing. It's up to you. I'm going to say as a GM, okay. Let's look at it logically, right? These power armors, regardless of how advanced they are, weigh 800 pounds or more. You know what I mean? So walking in them is nowhere nearly as stealthy as walking on your own feet, even in body armor.
Yeah, I would like.
How-
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's okay. I was just saying, however, if you want to keep a far distance beyond where anyone can hear you, you'll be safe. But the closer you get to your target, the more likely someone's going to hear you crashing through the woods. Regardless of how slow you take, just the pure heavy footing, the hum of the the nuclear power engine, everything. You know what I mean? These are not stealth craft.
My thought was, Kriana, if this affects your opinion at all, my thought was this. If we're going to strike, we're going to know about where they are. My thought, anyway, was to approach... some of us maybe approach from the ATV, others approach from the air. I could carry you in your power armor and drop you right on their heads. That way, crunching won't matter much.
I'd have to double check the strength on that, but yeah.
Yes, yeah, that is true. I made that assumption. I probably should not have. But
Yeah.
yes,
So are
assuming
we-
that's possible.
Are we confirming that we're just gonna Rambo it?
Well, his hunting group, perhaps. Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, I guess I missed that part.
Yeah, we're essentially going to try and
Yeah.
just find him
I mean,
and go YOLO swag.
Here's okay.
oh
Okay,
my
First of
god.
all-
I'm sorry.
Why?
First of all, fuck you.
Burn.
Second of all, here's the thing. Like, you don't have to be attached to the power armor, right? So if you want to take it and then you just leave it at your campsite and go on foot in your body armor, that's fine. That's obtainable. You're not committed to just one thing. But if you don't want to take it at all, just because you're like, whoa, this is too loud, no problem on that as well. I just want to know what everyone's taking. So when the shit hits the fan, or if it doesn't hit the fan, you can't be like, oh yeah, I totally took that. I'm wearing it now. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
just want to make it
Yeah.
clear what you
I
guys
can-
have.
I can bring it with me and I can put it on if it's needed, but not necessarily.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the ATV has plenty of storage in it.
Okay, I'll bring it with me then.
Okay.
All right, so
Great.
both of the power armors are going to be in the ATVs.
On that
Yes.
regard, I should also bring an extra suit of body armor just in case plans change and we decide power armor is not the way to go.
Yeah. So your normal body armor,
Right.
Plus, yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
I guess this will be really quick. Either for role playing, and it'll help out my turns. Basically, Patrick is actually going to take the time to organize his shotgun shells in his freaking ammo belt he's been carrying around but not using.
Okay.
Done.
easier access? Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So I'm going to continue on explaining things, and feel free to retroactive stuff if I gloss over it. But let's dig in. So you spend much of the evening and the early morning preparing for your new journey ahead. Tom paints the ATV while Patrick removes the mini missile launcher and puts it into storage. By the way, I'll add in that loot as well, like how many mini missiles and what it does and everything like that a little bit later on. You check your armor, you check your goods, and along with Alicia and Bear, you head out. Thankfully, the few-hour journey on track to the quiet rain forest is relatively uneventful. You only notice one interesting sight, which is that about halfway through your journey, you do notice that there are a set of beavers along a river that you cross, that they're building a dam with a strange dark purple alien wood. The wood seems to be just growing in small clumps, kind of coloring the autumn-colored forest a little bit. For those interested, you would count and you would see perhaps 30 to 40 such strange purple-barked trees. But with that, you continue on. Although you are not sure exactly where the encampment is, you do set yourself, I would say, approximately around 500 feet within the southeastern perimeter of this forest and set camp, preparing Jackie for her reconnaissance. You strike camp at approximately, I would say, around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, before I continue on, is there anything that I missed or anything you guys would like to do in particular?
Set up a campsite and I suppose maybe start just doing a small bit of cooking.
Okay, all right.
I could help you with that.
Okay.
I have cooking.
Sausages.
So would you like... So how long would you like... You mentioned before how you would like Jackie to go out, try to search for individuals, like try to find the camp, and then monitor it for a set amount of time and then return, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you want that for a 24-hour period, so then she would return the next day around 3 o'clock in the afternoon?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Then please just let me grab another drink real quick, because I'm going to be talking a lot, explaining on what you see. So I'll be right back.
Oh god, I really have to pee.
Go for it.
Okay. I can't believe that I freaking said that.
What?
Say what?
YOLO swag.
Oh, we all make mistakes.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's just most of our stakes don't make Inferno kill us. So,
Yep.
all I'm saying is
Oh.
sleep with one eye open for like the next week or two. That's all I'm saying. There are plane tickets to Hawaii from from Canada.
Shut. Oh, Squee.
Mm.
After this, don't disappear. I want to talk to you about stuff.
As magicians are like to do. Okay.
Yeah. At least it wasn't a pun. I like puns, though, Mackenzie.
So it looks like I have tentatively been accepted into the group of the other, like the 3.5 campaign.
Oh, nice. Well done.
Kind of like the indigenous life has sifted me and have accepted me into their camp. But perhaps,
Okay.
perhaps they will kick me out in a week. I don't know. Hi, Inferno. We were talking about
Hi.
sniffing.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That's something that people do.
We were talking about that thing that I completely screwed up, and I'm sorry about.
Yeah, I was still.
Huh?
We were talking about the word, and we were like, I was like,
Oh,
Burn. I was like,
fucking
Burn. We
hell.
all make mistakes. However, most of our mistakes
Sorry.
don't make Inferno want to kill us. So all I'm saying is, there's plane tickets from Canada to Hawaii. Sleep with one eye open.
I'm not gonna kill you. I'm not gonna kill you because you used the Y word. It's okay.
No, of course
I'm
not.
not that petty
He's
and
not that
ridiculous.
merciful.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm gonna make you pay for it.
Gonna make you. Oh gosh.
You know that shit that happened to Elizabeth? Oh, that was fucking heaven compared to what I'm gonna do to you.
Inferno.
Son
Yesterday,
of a
yesterday
bitch.
I watched all 4 of our Star Trek games in a row.
Oh, did you?
Oh my
Nice.
god, those were so great.
They were.
You but Square, you're our commanding officer. I'm on the shuttle. I'm out, bitches.
Fuck you.
Deal with it yourself.
I'm here, assholes.
Okay. Thanks, Kit. All right. So, are you back, Piff?
I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Okay. So, I'm going to, if it's okay by you, I'm going to jump ahead to Jackie's reconnaissance report, for lack of a better word.
Mhm.
Okay? So, it took her approximately 4 hours of going in a grid-like search pattern before she located individuals which she followed into the camp. So I'm going to first describe the camp and what she monitored and the information that you would find interesting. And then I'm going to describe some scenes that she recorded that involve persons of interest. So, the camp is less of a camp and resembles something more of an outpost. It's a quarter of a mile square with a large portion of the forest that has been cleared to make room for tents, although it seems that there are a few fixed buildings made of high-impact materials that have also been erected. In front of the sign, in a piece of wood, and kind of etched into the wood with a knife, you see on one end of the perimeter something that said a word that says camp termination. From Jackie's observations and your careful review of the video footage, you feel that there are between 22 and 25 individuals in all. You do identify Prince Jasper, who, when he is in camp, does wear his royal body armor. You also notice a few other individuals. The most particular one is a woman. She is it's a strawberry blonde color. She has short cropped hair. She looks like she is approximately 30 years of age. She is very petite, but you notice that she most certainly has juicer conversion rigging. She seems to stay by Prince Jasper's side the absolute most. And other than Prince Jasper himself, she seems to garner the most respect of the other individuals around the camp. In addition, there is along the north side of the camp, still in the camp but definitely along the perimeter, is a iron forged cage that is scarcely 10 foot square, and inside is a large scarred mutant bear. You can tell by just the scars along its fur that it has been burned and cut. It is extremely angry and contained within this cage. Other members of the party include 2 power armor pilots and 2 full conversion Borgs. You have noticed in this 18-hour observation period that they tend to stay at the camp and act as, you're assuming, some form of security. There are 3 other juicers in addition to the woman that was other described. 5 individuals. The common lingo is headhunters, which are individuals who have some cybernetic attachments to them, whether it's a cybernetic arm or hand. Your traditional mercenary. 5 individuals who seem to be more at home in the woods. Some of them also have cybernetic conversions. And 2 other individuals who seem to be taking more of a non-combat role, although they themselves also have bionics. One has a bionic eye and one has a bionic hand. They typically tend to the roles of cooking and cleaning and administration. All these individuals seem to have a range of traditional hunting weapons, whether they be rifles or bows or other such rigging, right? Although there are definitely quite a few mega damage capacity weapons with some pretty heavy stuff sprinkled in, like some mini missile launchers, some heavy plasma cannons. They're not insane, but they are definitely well armed in case of any sort of incursion, whether it be supernatural or human. Now, with that described, I would like to go over 3 scenes of note that involve Prince Jasper, since Jackie has been told to record once his name is mentioned. This is in full color with full audio. The first is in his morning routine. Actually, no, let's go chronologically. So the first thing that she notices is that evening, Prince Jasper and about 10 other individuals strike a campfire to the south of their current encampment, in which they roast what seems to be a wild pig over a spit. What's most disturbing is that Prince Jasper requests that the boar that the spit be plunged into the boar while it is still alive, much to his pleasure, and then put upon the fire still twitching and turning around. He's not worried so much about the preparation. No surprise, very few people eat the boar flesh except for Prince Jasper, in which a variety of additional nuts, dried meats, and a few fruits and vegetables are also served. Halfway through their meal, Prince Jasper has a bored, distant look on his face, you can tell. And suddenly, kind of surprising, he tosses his plate onto the ground, the food spilling into the grassy earth below him. And he gets out of his chair, and he gets on his knees in front of his food, and with his hands at his side, he brings his head down to eat from the food from the ground like an animal. The others look at him warily, but no one says anything. As he eats his meal, he looks up and he says, I think I will have 2 people in my tent tonight. Joan, come with me. Also, you. And he looks over towards a male mercenary, a fellow with like a scraggly, wiry, gray beard. He's typically the eldest of the group. And he goes, yes, you, Patton. You will come to my tent as well. And although this Patton fellow does not voice any sort of objection There is a worried look on his face as all the other individuals at the campsite look at him. But sure enough, he relents, and after dinner, everyone retires. The next scene is early in the morning. It seems that Prince Jasper is a very early riser. Just as the sun begins to break around 6 o'clock in the morning, he leaves his well, he doesn't really have a tent. He has one of these mega damaged buildings, which is clearly the largest of it. Jackie isn't able to get inside of it clearly, but taking a quick peek inside, you can see that it is definitely an abode fit for a king. But he gets up early in the morning, and he gets behind his tent, and he starts practicing his bowmanship. It is at this point Jackie has a near miss with Prince Jasper. For his hood's eyes do lock onto hers, and he shoots an arrow towards her. It plunges a scarce 3 inches below the branch in which she is resting, but her defense subroutines kick in, and understanding that she's under attack but not currently in the claws of some eagle, she withdraws into the woods without flashing. She avoids it inconspicuously. After a little while longer, in the early afternoon, the third scene in regards to Prince Jasper, in which he gleefully, along with the woman that you seek accompany him quite a bit, along with 4 other individuals, gruff hunting types, all join with him, and it's clear that most of these men had been drinking, but not Prince Jasper, and not his female companion. And they go to this iron wrought cage in which this scarred mutant bear. And in Prince Jasper's hand is a red hot poker. And he goes, "Come on, Blinky. You're going to be awake today, Blinky." And he starts poking this hot poker into the cage, much to the screams of anger and fear of this mutant bear creature. And the other men take turns laughing and jeering and throwing stones at it, until Prince Jasper says, "Well, maybe we won't release him today. Tomorrow, though, I think we'll have a contest. I'm bored. Everyone will break out into pairs. And we will go on a hunt. We will each take a separate direction. And for those who bring in the biggest game shall win a prize." And with that, he takes one more kick over at the cage and says, "And if no one brings anything of interest to me, then we'll just hunt this poor beast. We've kept it along long enough. Haven't we, Blinky?" And that pretty much ends that particular scene of note. And I am done narrating. I hope you're not sick of my voice.
No.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we shouldn't
So-
do anything tomorrow. No. This doesn't seem like a good enough chance.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So what you guys like to do?
Bern, were you going to?
No, go ahead.
Well, obviously, we're not going to get a better opportunity than just a pair of them. I'm assuming it will be him and the girl. Not that we can take them too lightly. We can use Jackie to see at least what direction he goes in when they leave. However, unless someone has a good idea, we're going to have to basically hunt him down. We're going to have a general idea of what direction he went, but we're not going to be able to know where he is exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I could try and track him, sorta, using my track animals, but I get a -20 to that, so that's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting. Yeah, it sounds like something we need to do tomorrow. Tomorrow is go time.
Tomorrow?
Like
Yeah.
the
The
day
next
tomorrow,
day.
because it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon when Jackie comes back with that material. So he's so that conversation was that day, and he said
Okay.
tomorrow we'll have a hunt.
All right.
Yeah.
I was just making sure that wasn't a recording of yesterday.
Oh yeah, no. The first scene was the evening, and then the
Okay,
next
that's
2 scenes were the
chronological.
following morning, which is your morning, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Although it would be interesting to release that monster. I don't know how. Well, I say monster.
Yeah, the bear.
That
But we'd have to get into
thing-
the camp. I don't see that.
Yeah,
happening.
we would have to get into the camp. I don't know. Well, how far away can you shoot with your power armor weapon?
It's less range and more line of sight. Jackie has confirmed the the density of this forest. There's a reason why they had to cut down and clear an area rather than have their tents, scattered amongst it.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting
Alright.
thing to keep in mind too, and Jackie would be able to tell us this. I think. How many people in the camp are leaving? How many people are left back at the camp? If the entire camp is going on this hunting trip, it might be worth it just to sneak in there and disable some robots, free a mutant bear, maybe take a robot. I can pilot robots.
Robot? I didn't say any robots.
Oh.
I said 2 power armor pilots and 2 full conversion Borgs.
Oh.
Borgs
Yeah.
aren't quite robots. Borgs have human brains in them.
I think that we had talked so long about there being robots there that I forgot that you had.
I could have sworn. I could have
You
sworn
guys
that
talked
the people
yourselves
in,
into robots when there were no robots. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
the people back
So
in.
we're getting the robots.
Yeah.
God damn it, Brianna.
I could have sworn that the people back in Flint mentioned robots. I
Yeah.
could be completely wrong.
They did, but that doesn't mean that they knew
Yeah.
what was there. Just what could have
Yeah.
been. So, all right, but still, it might not be worth. It might be worth if everyone's leaving or there's like 1 or 2 guards left or whatever, taking out the camp first and then hunting them down.
Well, I have an idea.
Hmm.
I have a very interesting idea. If there are no people at the camp, and this would have to be something where we kind of we would have to recon the camp and watch when they leave. But if there are no people at the camp, we could get into that the biggest place, the biggest mega damage place, and well, booby trap it with maybe some of those blocks that you really love.
The problem with that is that blocks run on a timer, and while Inferno and I have made some jerry-rig rules for me to detonate them at command,
Having a proximity charge is way too advanced.
yeah, and it
No,
would be way too hard for me to sneak a wire outside the encampment so I could.
No. Set it up to a tripwire.
Yeah, I mean, if
Yeah,
I could set
maybe.
it up to trigger it myself, I could. It would
Or
I
a
would think
pressure
it could-
switch.
Yeah,
When somebody sits on the bed, kabloom. Might be an idea.
might be. Certainly might be. Inferno Jim, would you say that if it's feasible for me to be able to set it up to detonate on command, it would be feasible to do a tripwire or something?
Yes, I would say you'd have to do an explosives check.
Of course.
And failure might not necessarily mean, they'll
Right.
blow up in your face, but something might happen. Although, personally, I would have really wished that you would have done like a Yosemite Sam thing and just had a really long wire that just ran into the woods while you're just hiding there. Like,
That was my
I'll
first
get
thought.
you, Webbit.
That was my
Yeah.
first thought, and then all of a sudden I click it, and then I hear a beep, and behind me somehow Prince Jasper has placed the block.
Yeah. And he goes beep, beep, and then runs away.
Yeah.
Totally.
Meep.
So, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Since I do have to work tomorrow, I would like to spend maybe just whatever other time you guys want to do, just keep talking about a plan or anything like that. But I would like to actually put it in action next session. You know what I mean? Just because putting it in action sounds like an involved thing no matter what decide you do, and I don't want to cut you halfway done, like in between your actions.
Yeah, it's going to take more than half an hour, definitely, whatever happens.
Yeah.
So,
even an hour, right?
Yeah.
So I could have hung on for an hour, but I'm like, oh god, I don't even know, right? So
Yeah.
I will
although
be honest, I am fading fast.
I was going to
Okay,
say,
perfect.
if everyone's okay with it, we could do one of these where we kind of just in the session now take the week to think about what our next move is.
yeah.
And
Now you have a
discuss
lot
it.
of information. I
Yeah.
can obviously retell it to you guys, or reinforce stuff that you need to know. But yeah, I think that works for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll let Kriana have a chance to rest. Plus, honestly, to tell you the truth, what I'd really like to do too is maybe have, like, during that day that you guys are waiting for Jackie, I think I might start the session off with maybe some role play with Alicia and Bear. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Not just between them, but with you guys. And I'll think of some stuff to do and say, and so we can throw in some role play in with this, attempt at assassination.
Yeah.
Really mix
Sounds
it up.
You know.
I like
Yeah.
the way you think.
Thank you.
Raise his eyebrows.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll
right,
end the
everyone. We'll,
official session then.
Yeah, we'll end the session there.
GM, I would like to go out and find any sort of plant or berry.
Aww.
Oh, I know what you're gonna do.
Kind of.
Right.
And I'm going to make sure I get any sorts that I find, but I'm going to make sure that if I come across anything that is generally considered poisonous, I'm going to keep.
Then I don't know what
Oh.
you're gonna do. Kind of. I love how you're just like, kind of, you dumbass. You don't know what I'm doing. All right. Do you have
I have wilderness survival.
Yes,
so.
that is great for foraging.
Yeah.
All right.
Roll it.
I miss it by 8.
So I'm going to say the berries that you find are edible. You do not find at this, few hour attempt, you do not find any poison ones. You can spend a few more hours and roll again.
We do have like the entire
I know you
24
do.
hours thing.
Yeah, but I don't know if you want to be out and be like, "Where's Patrick?" Oh, he left 18 hours ago looking for berries.
I
what I mean?
Yeah, he's
I just want to do it for a couple hour chunks at a time.
Yeah. All right.
So roll it one more time.
There we go.
Yep. Okay. You definitely do find some. You find some red berries grown on a tree that is known to be toxic to humans, but birds can eat them just fine.
Perfect. So he's going to set back at camp.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to give all the sort of berries and plants and things that he gave to everybody else. Like, those are fine. Don't eat these.
These ones not so good. The good ones are blueberries.
Al's like in the mouth. What?
I'm surprised that's not Mila in their mouth being like, huh? Although she might be okay, really. Anyway.
So, Patrick is going to take, I'm not even quite sure how much he's got, but he's going to take one of probably the handful that he has.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to inspect it a bit, and he's going to pop one in his mouth.
Oh, a poison one?
Yeah. He's
Okay.
going to see how it tastes.
It tastes very bitter and it's hard, but it's not inedible. It's just like a crunchy, bitter berry. It has a very, very bitter taste to your mouth.
Mm.
You just eat one. Roll me! You know what, dude?
I'm sorry, GM, but you cannot.
What do you mean I cannot?
I am immune to poisons.
Oh, yeah! Because you're wearing your golden armor. Yeah. Thank you. I love how you're just like, no, sorry, GM, you cannot. I thought you were just wearing. Thank you. Thank you. Fuck you. Don't tell God what to do. Just give me a little reminder.
Okay.
It's okay. I'm teasing. I don't care.
So everyone
Alright,
else,
but yeah.
he's curious about how poisons things taste, and also he's testing the limits of his armor to see how that works.
God, no, we know what's
I'm
we
glad it
know
does.
what's really going on here. Patrick just loves eating, and now he has a whole new world of
He's-
eats.
Yeah, he now can eat poisonous food and see how that works. What kind of new flavors he can make.
Oh
Oh
my
my
gosh!
god.
Oh god! Like from Al's point of view, like Patrick, you're amazing. Do you have any idea how many people you could assassinate like that? No, it's fine. They're not poisonous. See, look.
Don't mind the armor. It's
Patrick
fine.
is going to
Don't
like
wear the
kind of
armor.
like pull back the berries that he found.
I'm not giving this to anyone else.
No,
That's
they're
awesome.
mine.
All right.
Anything else that you want to do, or are we good to wrap things up?
Yeah, I was gonna say simply that he might make some like jams or something to see how that. Yeah, that's about it.
Some jams. Okay, I'll seriously think. Oh, no, I'll think about it. Like you can do it, right? But I'm just trying to think of the process in my brain. We'll talk about that over the week.
All right.
You gotta find a place to put the jam, but you have like a crap ton of containers, don't you? You nerd. Just teasing.